Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Agent Psycho, and I'm bringing you guys another review. This time, Nexon has decided to release another variant to the Uzi family. Before we only had the Uzi, and then we had the Micro Uzi Metal, which is the NX rare variant of the Uzi, and now we have the NX standard variant, the Micro Uzi, just a simple little Micro Uzi without the metal part. So, off the top of it, the Micro Uzi does resemble the Micro Uzi Metal. It just doesn't have like a sleek metallic look to it. That's the only physical difference. However, there are a few handling changes to it, but first we'll talk about the actual stat changes. The damage is stayed the same at a 36. Surprisingly, I would have expected that the NX standard variant would be as powerful as NX rare variant, but hey, Nexon can do whatever they want. The portability is not as high, unfortunately, as the Micro Uzi Metals was. If you guys recall, the Micro Uzi Metal had a ridiculous portability at 91. That makes it even faster than. It might be just 1 point faster, but it's still faster technically than most of your pistols. I mean, some of the you'd have to only the forgeable revolvers are faster than it in terms of sheer portability and the tracker knife. So portability is still at 85, which is still pretty fast, or very fast, I should say. Rate of fire is still at 90 because no gun yet. Even the minigun doesn't top the rate of fire of 90. Accuracy is at 64, and that's the same for the Micro Uzi and the Micro Uzi Metal. But the recoil has been increased by 1 point from 63 to 64. So the Micro Uzi, not the metal, but just the Micro Uzi, has worse accuracy or worse recoil by 1 point. Everything else is the same. It still has 30 rounds in the magazine with 90 in reserve and everything else. Well, just like the Micro Uzi Metal, it does have an integrated suppressor. It's not an S3 suppressor, but it is a unique suppressor in that it has its own funny little firing noise. I don't think it's unique. I'm pretty sure it shares the sound with some other guns in the game. I just don't know what at the moment, but I'm pretty sure it's not exactly unique. It actually sounds like a silenced pistol. I don't know. I could just be pulling that one out of my ass, but I don't know. I feel like the silencer noise for the Micro Uzi, I feel like I've heard it before in the game. I just can't pinpoint where. In any case, so statistically speaking, it seems it's obviously inferior to the Micro Uzi Metal, but not by much. I mean, 6 points of portability, yeah, it might sound like a big deal, but I mean, given that they're both submachine guns and the Micro Uzi's portability is still really high, 85 anyway, it's not that big of a deal. And plus the recoil, 1 point less recoil. Oh yeah, whoop-de-doo, it's gonna do a lot, right? I mean, the Uzis have always been known for their really ridiculous recoil patterns anyway, so that just 1 point higher recoil isn't really gonna, it shouldn't really do much to hamper your performance with Micro Uzi. However, there are some few unique quirks about it. First of all, the handling characteristics, like I mentioned earlier in the first part of this video. The Micro Uzi, I don't know who's developing these handling characteristics for these new guns and all, but with the last update, seems like Nexon's been looking their eye on kind of freshening things up. You guys saw my MSG-90 CAMO Road to Mastery that the real animation, the draw animation, are all really cool. Like, it was really cool to look at. And Nexon had never done like those kinds of schematics before. They seem to be carrying it on. They seem to be liking what they're doing, so they're carrying it on with a Micro Uzi. And I don't know, just the draw of it, like your character, like, you know, tweaking the suppressor so that it fits onto the onto the muzzle of the submachine gun. And when you run with it, it looks like the guy is actually holding it with one hand, or he is holding it with one hand when he's sprinting with his right hand, or her right hand, whichever character base you're using. And when you reload it, there are all these little details, like I mentioned before. All these little details really serve to freshen up these new weapons that are coming to combat arms. I'm really liking it. It's just, I don't know, it just feels like a whole new gun to me, even though in my mind it's still an Uzi variant. Just these handling characteristics just make it feel like it's a fresh new gun again. I love it. So whatever who's ever in charge over at Nexon of doing those gun animations, the gun models, you're doing a good job. One downside to the Micro Uzi though, however, that I would like to point out is that it seems very bulky on your HUD. Both the Uzi and the Micro Uzi Metal don't take up a lot of space on your HUD, and that's one of the things I liked about the submachine, because the Uzis aren't very big. The Micro Uzi unfortunately has the same problem as the Maze MP7 mod does, where it seems to be taking up a large part of your screen or your HUD, like the lower right hand corner of your HUD. It's kind of distracting, but it's less distracting than the Maze MP7 mod, let's put it that way. I can deal with it easily, whereas if I were to use the Maze MP7 mod, I kind of have a little bit of trouble with it because I have a hard time dealing with the space, the amount of space that it takes on the HUD, which kind of infuriates me, but hey, whatever. Other than that, the Micro Uzi is an excellent submachine gun. If you've ever wanted to try out the Micro Uzi Metal but you never had a chance to because you didn't have NX but you have NX now, I highly recommend getting the Micro Uzi because it performs very well. The damage profile is very similar to Micro Uzi Metals because of the fact that they have the same damage rating. However, I almost feel like the Micro Uzi, in some ways, is better than Micro Uzi Metal. It seems like the bullet pattern, the bullet spread, are much more centered. Sorry, excuse me, small bullet. Are much more centered than the Micro Uzi Metal's bullet spread pattern. I can't understand why. In really close quarters, I'd have to give the edge to the Micro Uzi Metal just because of the fact that I played with it more. But the Micro Uzi seems to be a little bit better at middle range. I'm not too sure why. This could just be me, but that's just what I feel in my experience with the Micro Uzi. So Micro Uzi is a fantastic submachine gun. It is one of the more powerful submachines out there. With a damage rating of 36, I mean, it's up there on par, if not better than let's see, T2, VV Bra P, F59 Magpul. Is it better than the CZ? Maybe. I feel like the Micro Uzi and the CZ Scorpion Evo 3A1 kind of are on the same tier, if you know what I mean. I don't know. I really don't know which one is the better submachine, because technically speaking, I mean, all the T2, the CZ Scorpion Evo 3A1, and the Micro Uzi and the Micro Uzi Metal, if you want to throw it in there as well, are all identical or technically identical in terms of their damage profile or their damage rating. So one would think that their DPS would all be identical because hey, 36 damage, 90 rate of fire. The math doesn't lie, right? But I feel like the Micro Uzi has a better overall DPS time because it feels like its middle range capacity is very strong. Its damage drop off isn't as severe as the other submachine guns, so it may be better than CZ Scorpion, but I'm not too sure. So far, I still think the CZ Scorpion is still the best NX standard submachine gun out there that you can get. Well, other than dual Scorpions, of course, but Micro Uzi is looking to be a really strong contender for that. That best NX submachine gun title. So keep that in mind. Hopefully you guys do consider the Micro Uzi as part of your arsenal because it is a very good submachine gun. I highly recommend it to you guys because I'm a huge Uzi fan. You guys don't really see me using Uzi a lot, but I used to use it a lot back in the day in public open beta and like the first half of Common Arms' existence. Back when I used to play with Protagonist a lot, we'd go around with Uzi buddies and just mow people down. Have fun like that. So anyways, that is a review on the Micro Uzi. Hopefully this review hasn't gone on too long. So anyways, thanks for watching guys, and I will see you guys later.